Mode.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us in our meeting, our weekly meeting on Talk Accounting. Got a pretty good crowd here. I thought I'd bring you up to date on what's going on. Now, in the last year, between August through November, we signed up 70 accounting firms to become our pro advisors, our distributors, our wholesale backbone, so that we could now start going out and selling businesses. And what we're going to talk about today is our efforts in that direction. And out of those 70 firms, I do have bigger news. I've got some pretty good news. And this just randomly happened yesterday, and we meet with our team twice a week. One of our young programmers was talking about having to upgrade the servers for Talk. And I looked at him in total surprise. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we've got so many transactions coming across that we have to go to the next level of performance. And I was delighted. And I didn't even realize that. Then my staff all chimed in and said, yeah, we have, out of those 70 firms, we have 21 firms who now are actually installing Talk with their clients. And those 21 firms have 131 accounting or bookkeeping firms now actually uploading documents. This is great news. This thing is really, it's starting to work. We're excited about that. And you guys are doing it without me coming out there and hand-holding you right through the steps with the client. That's powerful. So we're pretty excited to see that we're starting to get some business in the door. Now, we're starting our marketing campaigns. It's going on right now. The whole idea is to get people in the door to a lunch meeting where we will then give them the details about Talk. We're sending out a letter. I'm going to give you that in a few minutes. I'll even send it out to you. You can use it yourself in the meantime but I plan on coming out to see you in your town to pitch Talk. And of course, we want to make sure we're going out into the towns where people are actually using it themselves. And that's going to start with, make sure you get one of these mileage dongles. Talk to your girls if you haven't done this, to Caitlin or Oz. Now, it comes in two levels, the $100 basic, the $124 advanced. Buy the advanced one. Get the more expensive one because it loads quicker, gives you more data and details, and it is easier to get hooked up to the Talk system. Caitlin and Oz can do that. This is going to be one of the most powerful examples that you can demonstrate to your clients during tax season when you show them the phone and say, look at how easy it is for us to track mileage. And it's something everybody has a problem with. And it's the beginning of your conversation. It won't be the whole sale, but if you can get them on mileage, then they're going to go, well, what about, oh, by the way, did you see how easy it is for us to use credit cards? Because we now have all the Finicity problems solved. That Finicity is now working seamlessly into the Android app. And I think we're somewhere around 95% seamless on the Apple app. Those were the two big hurdles, or that getting a credit card transactions was the big hurdle. And of course, I may have talked to you and told you that we now have the Fujitsu scanner uploading documents directly into Talk. So if you have a Fujitsu, you want to download the upgraded software, but talk to the girls first. Make sure that they're actually distributing that upgrade right through Fujitsu this week. I'm not sure they're actually doing it yet, but that'll make it so much easier for your clients. And of course, what we really like, and one of the things I personally love, is the ability to set up a daily notification to your clients, hey, click on your phone and see where your business is at yesterday. So those are just some of the exciting things going on. But now let's talk about actually selling clients. This is a one-page letter that, let's see here. Well, this is what the one-page letter looks like, but I'm actually going to go through this with you. Now, we've been working on this and testing it for the last 8 weeks. what we're doing is sending out a letter to contractors. That's where we're starting. I sent you all an email asking if you like the idea of contractors, and 98% of the response that came back said, yippee, we love those guys. And 2% came back and said, no, we want dentist. But 98% of the responses, and we got a response, the biggest response we received from accountants on an email, probably in a year. Out of the 70 people, I think 50 of them replied back and said that, yeah, we'll work contractors. That's a good market. Now, the reason we want to do contractors is because they're our ideal client. Talk is so good for tracking job costing. It is so good for capturing those random documents and expenses out there from the delivery truck to the service truck, and for even tracking where that truck's at, which is one of the big reasons you want to, if you buy that dongle, you want to buy the $125 one, because that'll actually, from your computer screen, you'll know exactly where your trucks are. It'll actually, you pull up a map of your town and see your trucks beep beeping on the screen. That's actually kind of cool. So here's the story on the letter. And this is a letter that I will send out to people in your town when I come over there. I'm going to be over there during tax season. You can take an hour off work during tax season, come down and watch us do this. And I'm going to put contractors in the room. And the biggest reason I like contractors, not only because the software is custom made for them, but their business is screaming. And now the housing permits are up 10% over last year. They finally feel like they've got one of their own in the White House now. And contractors have the best attitude I've ever seen. Since 2006, they are fired up and excited about the future. And there's a big pent-up demand. You know, I keep reading the prices of housing is going up all over America, and nobody can figure out why. Well, it's not that hard. How many stick homes have you seen getting built in the last 8 years? I mean, almost no building has happened on individual standalone homes. So there's a pent-up demand. These guys have a really bright future. Talk is custom made for it, and they've got the good attitude now because they feel like they've got one of their own in the White House. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to send you this letter today. You can modify this yourself if you want to, and do this on your own right now. But the letter says, I've got a high-tech in Tucson, the first ever job costing revenue tracking robot for, and then that's a mail merged line. I've got it up here for electrical contractors with 1 to 100 employees. And I really find it, I'm uncomfortable going to the company over 100 employees because I know they're going to have something like Timberline. They're going to have a lot of customization in place. We may find that the 100 plus employee company is good for us, but 1 to 100 is a pretty good range, and that encompasses 98% of all the contractors out there. The robot's a cheap add-on that works with your current software and your staff, and our claim to fame is it will capture, code, and post all the transactions to your software with source documents or receipts attached to the transaction inside that software in 10 seconds. Talk will wipe out 90% of your bookkeeping costs for $23 a week. Now, you don't have to leave that $23 a week line in there, but let me tell you why I'm doing it. Because I want guys to come into the lunch meeting, and then when we get them on Talk at $97 a month, that's $23 a week, then I can say, now here's everything Talk does, but what are you going to do on what Talk will not do? And we still know that 10% of the transactions are not going to code because their exceptions are off the reservation. Do you want your current bookkeeper to do those? And in some cases, they're going to say yes. But in other cases, they're going to say, well, can you guys do these as well? And so that's our opportunity, our billing opportunity. But we're walking them in slowly, building credibility. This thing really works. Do you want us to become your accountant? And some of these people may just say, you know, I'm going to keep my bookkeeper. I'm married to her, but it would be great to have you on our skill pyramid so that when we have things we don't understand, we can talk to you. But I know that this will get people in the room because that's just an amazing offer, and that's really what we're shooting for. The cost offer compared to benefit, the ROI return on this, that they cannot ignore. To wipe out 90% of my bookkeeping cost for 23 bucks a week is going to get their attention. And that's a very comfortable comment to make. If you look at the work that a bookkeeper in a contractor's office does, they spend almost all their time chasing down the coding, job costing, expensing, change orders, and they're chasing guys that are in the truck or on the job all day, and so they spend an enormous amount of time just doing silly work that talk would wipe out. So all you have to do is throw your invoices, sales orders on a scanner, use your phone to picture receipts from the truck, and imagine 100% accurate job costing or change orders done in real time. And so we've added a field. It'll show up in your talk sometime in the next couple of weeks. But in our sandbox version, we've added a field for the job costing so that we are, so when a guy opens his file box, he says, I want to see the jobs for the job costing for for the Smith Road project. All those pieces of paper are going to show up. It says job costing in the QBO, I got a question, is somewhat hard, but it is possible if you actually test it, talk with, we're doing it right now. We're doing job costing right into QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop as we talk. And maybe we can actually demo that next week for you. I'll ask Lynn and Francisco, Lynn, my wife, the bookkeeper, Francisco, our head programmer, about that. They don't have any technical hurdles right now. That's the big news, which means that they're just crossing T's and dotting I's. Every time you do something in programming, something else fails. We just don't know what's going to fail yet. But right now we are doing job costing. So anyway, that's the first two lines of the letter. You know, it's no reason for me to read every single line, but the big points that I wanted to make with the business owner is that you're never going to get behind on your books. Your debit card transactions are going to be tracked in minutes. You can do change orders on the fly. Mileage is going to be tracked, and that you're going to become a paperless office. Bookkeeping is going to become a part-time job. The ROI offer on this letter is just too hard for the guy to pass up. And so and then we go into the close, because every time you do any communication with a client, you've always got to have the call to action. And the call to action is simple. You know, I've got a problem here, and it says that right in the sentence, in the letter. I've got a problem. Talk's too hard to explain to put it in a web page, but it's too cheap for me to come out and see you one at a time. So I'm going to buy lunch for 6 to 10 guys. Come down, see what we can do. I'm not going to let you buy talk today. If you like what you see, then leave your business card and we'll call you. But it's just $23 a week to wipe out 90% of your accounting, and call our office today. Now, the first letters are landing. We don't have results yet on this. I will tell you that we are probably going to make follow-up phone calls. We'll make the first 100 calls from our office. Oz and Caitlin and I will do that. We'll call 35 each. And then we'll hire an outside telemarketing company to do it after that. So that we can fill these rooms up. Now, if you want me to come over to your town and you don't want to just do contractors, you want to have me talk to all your clients as well, that's fine. We may even do 2 classes. So if I'm in Topeka, Kansas, we might do a breakfast meeting for all your clients, and then let's do a lunch meeting for just contractors that you don't know. And get everybody up and on talk. And I got a message here, double the price, you know, and that's from Michael Marisol. He was telling me the same thing when I saw him over in Anaheim a couple of weeks ago. We'll practice with everything. I would love to double the price. If we were charging 46 a week instead of 23, will we get the same number of people? And I'm down for that. We'll play both and see what kind of response we get. We could bring them in the door at $23 a week, and then as soon as we sell it to them, give them a menu on the order form and find out, well, you don't qualify at 23, you're too big, you're too successful, you've got to pay 46. And maybe that would be the right way to pull that off. What we're thinking we may have to do is actually go out to the contractor's office and install. That's why we're doing our initial test right now in Arizona. Lynn and Caitlin and Oz and Travis and I are actually, when we get our first sales, we're going to go out there and set up the link and teach the bookkeeper. And everybody we're going to is going to have a bookkeeper, because we're not going to anyone with less than 5 employees. We're going to teach a bookkeeper. Most of the time they'll have the same last name as the owner, on how to use the PDFs and the voice activation on the screen. The biggest thing we're going to teach them is how to set up all the credit card accounts through the phone, so they are getting job costing in real time uploaded into a importable transaction with the document attached. So we think if we go out there and sit down with them that spend 2 hours, maybe 1 hour, but probably 2, we're going to be able to teach that bookkeeper how to rock and roll with this. Now, if we get into companies where they have a bookkeeper who they are not married to, we anticipate problems there, because that bookkeeper is going to look at Talk and say, oh my God, that's my job. And she's going to sabotage it. That's my guess. That guess is based on the results I've gotten in the past 6 months when I demonstrate Talk to bookkeepers. A lot of accountants over the last 6 months that we've run around the country have sent their bookkeeper to our demonstration, and we have never successfully talked about this robot with a bookkeeper. They have all become angry about what we're doing. And I guess I can understand that. I mean, they don't see this as an opportunity to do bigger, better work inside the company, like financial analysis or shopping the insurance, or maybe start doing bids so we can get more work in here. They don't see that as an opportunity to go up the scale. They see that as a quick path out the door. If the bookkeeper has the same last name as the contractor, though, she's excited, because that means I can work a little bit less and will actually make more money. So she's fired up about this, and she thinks it's great. And I see your point here, Michael, that 23 just doesn't seem believable. And that's why we'll test. I mean, we're doing this all by first-class direct mail, and using Infusionsoft to track who got what letter. So it's really easy for us to run a 23 a week, 46 a week, 97 a month, 250 a month. It's easy for us to run tests and then just simply track the response rate as we call people up and say, do you want to come to the free lunch? And then we're just holding the lunches at local hotels. Just a simple box lunch. Come in at 11:45. I'll have you out by 1 o'clock. It's only going to take us about 45 minutes to pitch the deal, because I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to show them the mileage, the credit card transaction, showing them how the documents come up to be imported in 10 seconds by using voice. And then I'll show them how to get reports on their phone every day. And if those 4 things don't sell that guy, then nothing will. However, I will tell you this, that I have been on the phone talking to contractors randomly just to kind of see what the response is going to be. And I've not had anybody say, oh my God, that sucks. It's like, are you kidding me? Do you know how many problems that would solve for us to get that done? And, you know, interestingly, all of this that we're talking about so far is not going to dump a lot of work on your desk either. So we could pick up a lot of clients without getting a lot of work. Anyway, that's all. I was just reading the rest of our questions, but mostly they were comments. Okay, good. Well, that's everything I wanted to tell you today. I do want to uh, remind you that you should be tracking your mileage right now. If you're not, get on the phone and talk to your girls and find out what you need to do, and that we're moving forward and things are working. I'm excited. So I will talk to everybody next week. Thank you now. Bye.